I can feel it.
Yeah, it's.
I think you all are mind gaming yourselves. I bet you none of you guys touch it again.
I guess.
That's how I feel.
There's gonna be like 3 glimmer goals on this card. I can feel it.
Yeah, I guess we should probably, if Zach's squeezing this one in, let's probably get it done, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, everyone ready?
Yep.
I am. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. We are having another bingo match.
One
And
final one for today.
One final one, absolutely.
As
And
a reminder for the rules, this is a 2v2 lockout bingo. We have 2 teams working to clear as many goals from the card as possible, and the first team to get a majority wins. The majority here is 13. First to 13.
I will say, looking at the board just as a quick sweep, a lot of it is buying things, and a lot of it is collecting gems.
There's a lot of orb stuff too. Hold on.
Yeah, so
Talismans, gems. This is gonna be interesting. There's a skill point. The first skill
There's
point
a
we see today.
seaweed.
All right, let's have a look here. Let's mark those that are in Winter Tundra. There's robot scarecrows. There's not this cloud temples. There is
100% Winter Tundra.
Robotica farms. 100% Winter Tundra.
Buy climb and head bash.
Yes. All orbs in Mystic Marsh. 14 power-ups? Nope. I don't think so. Unlock all speedways.
Yep. And Metropolis.
Metropolis.
Yep. So I think slightly less than what we're used to, but not by much. It's about what we expect. Just going off of the previous races.
Yep. I'd say this is almost definitely going to be one of each team in Winter Tundra, and I don't foresee either of them just rushing to Winter Tundra to clear out goals. All the goals here in Winter Tundra, you know, you have one that requires Metropolis, one that requires Glimmer. There's, I guess, Cloud Temples, 100% Winter Tundra, Mystic Marsh, that are, you know, goals that you can clear completely in Winter Tundra. So yeah, we're definitely going to see some stuff at the start. We're probably going to see one from each team doing indoor lamps. That's a fairly quick challenge to do early on.
And like I said, looking at the board, if I'm just like thinking about my own route, there's a lot of all gems or get like combined gems. Even though there's also a buy, climb, and head bash. So I might be a little sneaky and I might get all the gems and idle and maybe maybe try and pick up some other gems and then just buy, climb, and head bash shortly after.
I'd like to bring attention to this one at the bottom right. Unlock all speedways. This does not imply that you have to unlock it the standard way. You don't have to pay money bags or anything. 2 of the speedways are hidden behind money bags. And so most likely, triggering theater does count for this. So this will require, I think, 6 orbs in total to unlock Metro Speedway, and then theater, but not necessarily gathering and paying money bags. We'll see exactly how they go about it over the course of the run.
Sure, and here we see ZL. Oh, route change, going for the indoor lamps, it looks like.
Looks like he's doing indoor lamps early.
And it looks like Silver and Wed might... It looks like Wed is going to be heading out. Silver could be heading out, but grabbing a few extra gems as well. Yeah, ZL's the only one doing indoor lamps.
Okay, so we know ZL is going to be going to Winter Tundra, leaving Spudlyman to do the rest. And I doubt we're going to see both. As I mentioned earlier, we're most likely going to be spending a lot of time here in Summer Forest and Autumn Plains with just ZL here getting ready for the late game.
Absolutely. And whoa, interesting proxy from Wed. Again, a interesting fraud proxy, kind of in the same vein as ZL did, or in gosh, like 2 races ago at this point. It's been that many. Wow.
And someone's getting a lot of gems in Summer Forest. Is there something about gems in Summer Forest?
I didn't quite see gyms in Summer Forest.
Yeah,
I do know there's a lot of things about, there's a few things you want to buy, and there is a lot of gym collection.
100% Summer Forest. That's the
Forest,
one.
there we go. There we go. There's actually a lot of things to do in Summer Forest. You have 100% Summer Forest, all the gyms, and Idle Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And those two alone could take some time, but definitely could be worth going for. It looks like we have two players, Silver and Spudly, who are going to be entering Colossus. Meanwhile, ZL and Wed are going to be entering Crush.
ZL trying very hard not to die entering Crush again.
I will say that attempt was way better. Way better.
Spudly doing the classic proxy to go to rush to hockey. Always love seeing that.
I've never seen this. What?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's not really faster, but he always goes for it.
I have never seen that, but that was swag. Honestly, that's the second swag proxy we've seen, and it's only been 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, 2 people in Colossus. And
2 people in Crush.
2 people in Crush, but that's
so
not
maybe they have similar route ideas. Yeah,
what?
Usually by this point, we'd see some differences.
Colossus. Which ones require Colossus? Something about Spirit Statues and Dinos 1. There it is, row 4, column 2. I can't see anything else, though I don't remember how many enemies the
Talisman.
Power uptake. Talismans, alright.
Talisman, row 4, column 1, actually beside each other.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're going to be going for the Spirit Statues and the Talisman, which means we might see a race between Spudly and Silver, because you gotta get the Talisman in Colossus, Aquaria, and Breeze Harbor.
Thankfully, we're not going to be seeing any hockey this time.
No. Not this time.
And now we have Wed already doing climb skip, so I suspect he's rushing to gulp.
Ooh. Not quite.
And we've seen ZL do indoor lamps, so I'm definitely expecting some kind of rush there too, but maybe he's going to detour. Yep. There he goes in Crystal.
Detours in the Crystal.
Definitely a few things here. Crystal, Glacier, and Robotica.
600
right.
combined gyms, yep.
Because he's going to be going in Robotica, we know that, because of Scarecrows.
Yep. And Spudly is going to head out of Colossus, and now I guess is the interesting time to see if they go into Idle. No. Not going for all the gyms in Idle yet. It looks like going to be going for possibly the Orb. With this, nope, I
just
lied.
rushing to the second.
Just rushing.
Second half of the home world.
Meanwhile, Wed does get gulp skip.
Nice. Does the practice paid off?
Practice
and there
did
you
pay
go,
off.
Silver entering Idle Springs as you thought one of them would.
Yep.
All gems in Idle Springs. Surely there's more. All orbs in Idle Springs. So that's a 100% Idle Springs goal in 2 squares.
Yeah, that's the reason I thought Spudly was going to head straight into Idle next, is because there's 2 goals right beside each other and they're close to Colossus. But Spudly instead is going to be heading over to Hurricos.
Yes, the annoying thing I suppose about Idle Springs is that without Head Bash, or without Super Flame, Fireball, the route is a lot less straightforward. So I suspect that maybe ZL wanted to, or Spudly in this case, wanted to wait and just like let the person with Head Bash come back if they have time later to just do it faster. But it is worth noting that's 2 goals for the price of 1, because you get some 100% Idle Spring goals sometimes that only cover 1 square.
Yeah, and this one is going to cover 2. Meanwhile, we have ZL, who has the Superfly power-up. Not quite going for the enemies here. Instead, looks like going for gyms to complete the 600 combined gyms in Crystal and Robotica. Wed is going to be finishing up Gulp. Gulp was pretty good for Wed. I believe missed only 1 double, so not the worst. And nice bomb rocket.
ZL made note here of how many gems he had in crystal before exiting. That's 265. So he's going to be trying to get 335 in Robotica when he gets there. Which is a decent amount, but gems in Robotica are a lot more, I guess...
linear?
Not linear, I want to say dense.
But, yeah. They're definitely closer together, and not as separated. Meanwhile, Spudly is just now doing Crush, and Wed looks like is going to be handing over to get a little Fireball. Oh, so you can save that. Ah, so close. Close.
Zio's going to gulp skip, trying to finally get to Winter Tundra, as we were expecting.
And craziest thing to say, but even though Zio has been kind of making a dash for Winter Tundra, but not quite as much. Very beautiful gulp skip, by the way. Zio is actually not mad dashing as fast as he did the other races. The other races, almost none of the goals mattered. It was just get Fireball, then think about the goals. This time, ZL, having a little bit of planning, sets himself up for 2 goals, then starts the mad dash. So we'll see if that pays off. Silver is doing the puzzle, and can't quite see where the puzzle comes in hand. Oh, duh. We already talked about Idle Springs. They're just 100%ing it.
Yeah.
Wed is going to get Fireball very nicely. And Spudly's going to be handed over to Skelos Badlands. Do you have any idea what's in Skelos?
Skelos Badlands. It's probably something. 600 combined gems in Skelos Badlands and Shady Oasis. But he's also going for orbs. So what orbs are they? Aaron, speaking of... Yes, Dino's one with spirit statues.
Oh,
and we did see
Spudly
rushing for spirit statues. So that's the first goal we're likely going to see checked on the grid after 12 minutes. That's right.
Yep, that is right. Now, someone else on the red team also did spirit statues, but didn't quite do dinos fast enough, and Spudly comes in to take it.
Now, we do see Wed now in Robotica, which is an odd choice considering he didn't do scarecrows or indoor lamps. No, he didn't do indoor lamps or enter Crystal Glacier. So most likely all the time that Wed is spending here is going to be wasted because ZL will get there soon. And well,
he's going to basically just...
Maybe Wed will be able to get indoor lamps. One of the two, but he won't be getting both as he's...
No, definitely not both. Wed could sneak away with one and steal it from ZL, but both would be impossible. And even that one is going to be very close, if even possible. I have no clue. So we'll see about that. Silver is getting close to done with Idle. It looks like missing the gems.
It all depends, I guess, if ZL decides that he wants to just secure it as fast as possible, or if he's going to go for Theater first. And yeah, he's going for Dragon Shores and likely Theater to just get that out of the way, get the Fireball. So that will delay him a bit in those goals. But yeah.
And we see Silver gets 2 for the price of 1, collect all the gems in Idle and collect all the orbs in Idle. Honestly, that was probably good to get that out of the way quick because, like you said, it's 2 for the price of 1. And even though Idle isn't the fastest level, you just can't beat that value. So, very, very good to get that done, get that secured 2 points for your team. Meanwhile, ZL is going to be getting Fireball, and I believe Wed has Fireball, Zio is going to get Fireball, and the other 2 do not have it.
Yeah, it looks like they... Okay, he got out of bounds. He still wants to get Theater. He's going to go there next.
Yep, which means by him going into Theater, he cannot buy Climber Head Bash.
You're right.
Because that is a requirement on this board.
So... I suppose that means that we're going to see Spudlyman come here later and buy them, buy Head Bash, probably near the end after he bought Climb, has all the gems, but that means we will see both in the blue team enter Winter Tundra, or we won't see that goal being checked by the blue team. I suspect it's going to be the latter.
Honestly, would have to agree, which that's unfortunate, but you could definitely make up some other goals. And I don't know, just buying Climb and Head Bash. Climb is a solid missed hover by Spudly, just barely.
Yeah, that's not a big mistake.
Yeah, Climb is like what 700 gems, I think, and then Head Bash is 1,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's honestly a lot of routing just to factor those in, because that's a lot of gems. So maybe it would be worth just saying, you know what, the other team can have that, or just have that in your pocket at the very, very end, instead of trying to pursue it. And Silver is going to grab the last orb in this homeward, and is going to get the last few gems.
Yeah, so Silver is now going for another 100%, this time 100% Summer Forest, and looks like he's the only one who's working on it, so he's got that one in the bag as well. Meanwhile, I think we saw that Wed is now out of... Yes, he's now out of Robotica. I think he's rushing back to Glimmer, but he won't get a chance to actually do anything because here, ZL just got the Scarecrows, marked that.
Yep.
Wed saw it before entering Glimmer, so he saved himself a bit of time.
Saved a bit of time then entering the level, then getting the bad news.
I think, is he going to try and snipe the gems in Crystal Glacier? I think he's going to assume that he could. I think he's going to assume not, because that would be costly, and he's probably thinking, that either ZL did the exact same thing he did, or he already got the gems in Crystal Glacier, which is why it would have taken him so long to tick it off.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I am trying to see where Wed wants to head to. Wed's going to pick up some 100% Winter Tundra.
He sees
a lot of 100% in this board.
He sees that ZL is in Winter Tundra, and he just wants to remove all his options, make his make ZL's trip to Winter Tundra as inefficient as possible.
Yep, inefficient. Yep. And with that being said, Silver is going to enter Aquaria Towers. Probably going to do some seahorses. What? Yeah, but going to do some seahorses. For a second, I thought of the wrong level. Meanwhile, ZL is going to be in Robotica, finishing up this challenge where you get 600 combined gems.
Yeah, remember, he needs 335 in here for that to be valid. He probably just did some math to figure out what gem count he'll need.
Yep. Wed does get the swim in air, and is going to go back and grab the gems that's behind the locked door, then probably make a beeline, because you don't want to fight Ripto. You really don't need that range.
Right, ZL knows he needs exactly 25 more gems.
Hey, just one more pink. But,
he's gonna go for the mystery jar, okay.
Oh, has to go for the mystery. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to at this point. Which will cost some time, but not the biggest time loss, I suppose.
He still got the goal. Compared to everything that Wed did in this level being a waste of time, I think ZL's waste of time is very much acceptable.
Yep.
Spudlyman here is now in Popcorn. What does he have to do with Popcorn?
That's a very good question. Probably an orb. Yeah, 4 orbs and Hurricane and Magma Cone. Going for the 2 orbs Popcorn gives you. Popcorn 1 is seen as kind of a gimme. Popcorn 2, you can possibly beef it if you're not prepared, but I assume we won't see that. So 2 orbs here
Spud
is
has a
not
lot
bad
of
here.
Popcorn with Popcorn. He'll be fine.
Yeah. And then over here, Silver just completed Seahorses.
Wed entering Country Speedway. But I didn't see him buy it, so I wonder what's happening there.
Silver is going to start destroying the seaweed, going for that skill point. Which honestly is a great idea to do it now while you're here after doing seahorses.
I think Wed might just be going for the gems here, because I don't see a goal that requires completing country.
Ah.
Or canyon.
Canyon Speedway. And Silver doesn't get the skill point, but is going to run out of fire breath here soon. So we'll have to double dip and have to figure out what seaweed he missed. Meanwhile, ZL and Hurricos looks like finishing up. And Wed did go in there for the gems.
Spud doing enemies in Fracture Hills.
Fracture Hills.
What level? Okay. Gems in Fracture Hills. There was something else. Alchemist.
Ah. But can Spudly do the Alchemist? Well, yeah. I forgot the head bash is only for the hunter mission.
Alchemist doesn't require head bash. But that is still a little bit of a weird move here. Killing so many Earthshapers for this. I don't think that's required. But maybe I'm missing something. That wouldn't be the first. 14 power-ups. That's a 14 enemy power-up. There it is. That's a simple one. Yep. During Alchemist, he's just going to move the Alchemist out of the way and probably, yeah. Okay, there you go. Oh, he doesn't...
What?
He's not going for Alchemist. Interesting.
No. Alchemist and Turtle Soup 2 could have done the Alchemist. I don't think we've seen anyone touch Alchemist or Turtle Soup 2. No one's touched that goal. Spudly could have been the first, but didn't like the texture of the soup, I guess, and doesn't want to touch it. Meanwhile, Silver is still doing the seaweeds. I forgot how long the skill point is. The skill point, I thought the seaweeds were just at the top of the level. It's actually for the whole level, and does get it.
All right, seaweed skill point done for red team,
and we are
tied. After 20 minutes, this board is taking a while to get filled up.
Yep. I feel bad for Zio. Zio did try to squeeze another bingo in, but probably didn't tell the significant other that it was going to be the longest bingo ever. Here we have good old Wed going to Cloud Temples, one of my favorite levels. I assume we were going for combined gems, but I will keep looking.
So we're going to see ZL eventually come back to Hurricos, or come back to Summer Forest to get into Hurricos, because of row 1, column 4, Factory Glide 2 is one of the Hurricos orbs. That's something I didn't mark off, but row 1, column 4 did require Winter Tundra, because Hippos require Head Bash.
Head Bash, yep. And Wed actually needs to 100% Cloud Temples. It is a requirement, and no one's entered Cloud Temples, so Wed should have this on lock. This depends how long.
I feel like there has to be more with Cloud Temples on the board, but maybe it's just an isolated goal. Yeah, that seems to be the case.
It just seems to be isolated, yeah.
Have you seen anyone enter return home portals yet?
I can't say I have, but at the same time, I'm so used to the pause exit method, I haven't been looking. So I'm almost as blind as you, assuming that you don't have any information on that as well.
This is an interesting one because it implies getting 8 talisman, 8 of the 14 talismans in the run.
Yeah.
Or end of level orbs. I'm assuming end of level orbs are preferable. They're usually easier, faster to get. So we'll most likely see it happen, I would assume, on WedSR ZL's side. Though ZL has already already exited Winter Tundra and is back in Autumn Plains.
Yep. Winter Tundra is still not 100%ed, so that is a little interesting. That seems to be the one that both teams go for it and then get sidetracked and then expect the other team to fulfill, and neither have yet. So we will see who actually gets to take that one. Wed going to go for the secrets break. Nice.
Good old summer sunny beach without infinite Fireball. Had to use an old route, but made it work. And that is an orb in Sunny Beach. Turtle boxes. Silver just marking turtle boxes and seahorses. Now putting red ahead of blue, but barely. This can definitely go either way still. I cannot see. I have no idea if either team is ahead of the other, considering everything.
Yeah, well, not only that, but also there's a lot of goals on here that you can kind of just do in the background of other goals. So like 100% Winter Tundra. I have no clue everyone's Winter Tundra's like pace. I don't know, who's completed more of it or not. And people could easily be completing that in the background, and I'm just not seeing it because I see them enter the level. So I have no clue there. Meanwhile, Wed does 100% Cloud Temples. Agent Zero is done.
And
Red is starting to extend the lead.
Goals for Red.
And Blue strikes back. The Talisman and Colossus, Aquaria Towers, and Breeze Harbor. Spudlyman just finishing Aquaria Towers Talisman, and will be heading out. So that is, I believe, 6 for 6.
Interesting synergy here between row 1, column 2, and row 3, column 3. And there's some stuff to do in Zephyr, and basically ZL has to navigate the full level just to get all enemies. Might as well get 250 gems on the way.
Absolutely.
That means he'll be going to Shady as well. We saw Wed in Shady earlier, probably getting gems, but he's not completing that yet. It feels like both teams here are multitasking a lot. That we're not seeing much, rushing from one part of a goal to the other. It's more like they're just accumulating as many goals, as many half-completed goals as possible, so that when it starts to heat up, they can just rapid tick them off the grid.
Yep. I 100% agree with that. The difference between this race and a lot of the other ones we saw is a lot of the other ones, they had kind of like goals that like were just one goal, but here we've seen so many like, I want to do this school and then this school, and they've been like going back and forth between multiple goals. And as a commentator, simply put, we are not going to see everything. So because of that, it's hard for us to tell exactly who's half completed the goal and who hasn't, so...
Like, surely someone at this point has like 6 out of the 8 pink gems. We just haven't been paying attention to that.
Yep. But that's the fun of bingo, is if you're a spectator, the fun part is not realizing, what they're exactly going for until the last second, and then being like, oh, that's very smart. So, that's definitely some of the fun.
Now, what is Silver working on here? We have someone in Breeze Harbor.
Breeze Harbor, maybe the
14 power up. That's the 14.
Maybe the 14 power up. Yep, that's the only one I could see.
All enemies
and
in Zephyr.
Spudly is also in Breeze Harbor, and I believe going for the exact same thing. So this should be a little interesting.
We have ZL that finally got the last enemy in Zephyr and realized that he's not done with gems yet. He's missing a few to get to 250, so he's going to continue for a while, get to 250, and then move on, I believe.
A lot of the gems in Zephyr, there's where ZL's heading to right now is a huge spot for gems. You have a balloon, you have this room up ahead that just has a bunch.
There's a pink gem.
There's a pink gem. But yeah, this section right here is just really good for gems. And Spudly does use all 14 power-ups, does complete it. So Silver did get a little gimped there.
That
Silver was trying to use that one.
3 goals in blue since the last time I checked. Talisman and Colossus. Talisman and
that's
Colossus,
another one.
Aquaria and Breeze Harbor from Spud. All enemies in Zephyr from ZL. Use all 14 power-ups from Spud, and 250 gems in Zephyr and Shady. I did not realize ZL had already gone to Shady. But I guess he did.
Actually, yeah, Zio absolutely did go to Shady. I saw them complete the Hippo minigame.
Right, that's right.
So, yeah. So, has that been marked off already? Yeah, Factory Glide 2 and Hippos was Zio, so that made sense to do that, and then also head to Zephyr.
So Blue is in a very good position now, but we don't know exactly what Red has in store yet, what Red has been working on. We have
no clue what they put in the oven.
We know Wed is still working on all orbs in Mystic Marsh, and there you go, that's ticked off. But what's next is the question. What's
I think
Silver?
100% Winter Tundra. I am still shocked it has not been completed yet. So I think that's the one that I would like to see covered quick, because if I'm on either of these teams, I assume that the other team is probably close, but like no one's truly going for it.
Right,
So
and now we have 2 of the players in not Magma Cone, Skilos Badlands, and I see 1, maybe 2 goals related to this, the 600 combined gems, and the 8 pink gems. I'm sure there's at least 1. There you go, 1 pink gem.
Yep, there is 1.
In fact, we see Silver has now exited the Badlands, so they're probably done with all the gems that they wanted to get there already. But we'll see if their next destination is going to allow him to get the goal, to complete the goal before ZL completes his.
Absolutely. And speaking of Winter Tundra, I mentioned earlier how I'd like to see someone get that goal just to be safe, and Wed must have heard me, because Wed immediately does it, and also gets all the orbs in Mystic Marsh.
Yeah, another thing I
beforehand.
had noticed, row 1, column 2, row 2, column 4, both have a requirement for gems and Shady, so you can tell ZL already had Shady down, and Silver probably noticed that when he ticked off row 1, column 2, 250 gems in both Zephyr and Shady. He probably figured, okay, ZL's on his way here. There's no real reason for him to focus on that. He should focus on other goals and have a chance at completing them rather than waste his time collecting gems in Skilos when he haven't had gems in Shady yet.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Zio does get the 600 combined gems in Skilos and Shady with that last mystery vase, helping out a ton. And I might have to count the board because I believe it's close to tied, but I think Blue might have a 1-point lead.
Yeah, and I think Red here, Silver is working on 8 pink gems most likely. Meanwhile, Wed
is 10 to 8.
Metropolis, 10 to 8 for Blue.
10 to 8, Blue's advantage. Yep. So Blue does have the slight advantage.
There's another pink gem for Spud, but I don't know if he's actually working on that or if someone else in the team is.
I've seen a lot of pink gems multiple times, but I guess no one's really been focusing on it, or just in general as a runner. Like maybe it's hard to keep track of. Did I really get 8?
Just think about this for like 2 seconds. Do you see any goal left in the board that implies getting gems in Zephyr? Because you see 2 of the players are doing that right now. Spudlyman and Silver. And so they are both going for the pink gems. Meanwhile, yes, Silver just
speaking of pink gems, Silver just does it. And because of that, it is now 10 to 9. This has been one of the closest races we've had for the entire day.
Spudlyman, realizing he has been wasting his time, will be moving on to something else. Meanwhile, what's Silver going towards?
Silver
return home portal. He's going to get the talisman just so he can take the return home portal.
And we have some longer kind of like cooking in the oven. I keep using that term just as like in the background, but with buy, climb, and head bash and enter 8 return home portals, that's just, have you been doing it throughout your run?
Have you been collecting gems? Have you been getting talismans and getting the return home portals?
Yeah.
And
honestly,
I suspect there's going to be like a 5 to 10 minute section at the end of this that's just going to be like 2 of those goals that aren't being completed yet, and just everyone's rushing to figure out who can do it fast.
And remember, even though Zio has a bunch of gems on his screen, almost 2,000, Zio can't do the climb and head bash because Zio went into theater. So Zio is out of the question, cannot complete that goal. And I believe you cannot donate gems to your teammate in this game, so we'll not be seeing that either. So those gems are pretty... Oh!
That was interesting. Might have been intentional. Yes. No, it wasn't.
No. Was not intentional. Wow. That was an interesting dunk coming in from the from the stone.
Silver is
guy,
clearly just rushing for the return home portals now, getting to the levels that basically have it right there.
Yep. And Spudly is going to be doing the monkeys.
Monkeys?
Looks like... Why are we doing... I am looking and I can't find a feasible reason to... Oh, all orbs and Scorch. Oh my gosh, it's right there. So, I'm going to say Spudly is going to be doing all orbs and Scorch. Probably should have that on lockdown. Zio is going to be finishing up Fracture Hills. And I do believe they collected a bunch of gems in Metropolis. So they should be good with that.
Yeah, and that will mark 12 if the count is correct.
Right now, I believe it's 11 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 to 9, I meant. My bad.
Right. So
still
we
Blue's
need
advantage,
3
though.
more goals in blue or 4 more goals in red to have a victory here. So it's looking like it's going to be a tight one.
It could easily be a tied one or a close one. We will absolutely see. It seems like everyone's current goal at the moment somehow does not interlap with someone else, which is very interesting to see. With that being said, of course, as soon as I say that, I do realize Wed is probably going to be doing the Alchemist, not realizing that ZL just did it and is probably heading to Turtle Soup too.
Yeah, and we have Silver that entered Scorch, but Spudlyman's been there for a while, so that goal is not going to be available for long.
So Blue is going to sweep up these last few challenges.
But Silver in Scorch doesn't care about the orbs. He still just wants to return home portals.
Okay. Honestly, best play for Silver to do there is just to stick to the challenge.
Yes.
And, already make the, the hypothesis that, oh, well, it's been such a long time. Surely someone's been doing this for a while, and someone has. So, very good.
Like, at this point, you don't want to commit to anything big, like, new, because, like, there's 4 people working on 6 goals, and a few of them are just, like, things that can happen at any point. So,
yeah,
if someone's already in Scorch, which there is, then you can't afford to start doing that, because then you're wasting time getting one of the other precious goals on the grid.
Also, we have some interesting, I believe Wed, I have no clue if Wed entered Metropolis, but Wed keeps checking their gem count, and ZL is also checking their gem count, so it's going to be a race to see who gets the 600 combined gems first. I'm assuming they're checking their gem count because they've already done the other levels. So this is going to be close.
Yes, I've seen Wed in... Yeah, there you go.
And Wed takes it. Takes it from ZL. ZL is going to be
realizing it now.
Immediately Xing the level.
And
that's
now
really
it's
disheartening.
10 to 10.
Yeah, that is 10 to 10. It's very disheartening for ZL.
10. There's 5 more squares in the grid for 4 runners. And the first team to get 3 more wins.
And we see Wed. We see Wed buy Climb and Head Bash, and it's done. He already had bought Head Bash, just needed Climb. And Silver, remember, is going for these 8 return home portals. So Blue, who had the advantage throughout most of the race, has lost it. And I think the advantage now goes to Red, who's soon going to be at 12, and will just need 1 more square.
But let's not forget, Spud has been working hard on Bumbo, and this is the last part of Bumbo that he needs, which will bring his own team to 11 points after this one. I think that's going to reinstate the tie that we had. And now after that, it's going to be first team to 2. Of course, just as I say that, I'm pretty sure Silver is approaching his 8 return home portals.
Yep.
It's probably at 6 or 7 by now.
I would have to agree. And Wed is currently on top of the castle, possibly trying to figure out what to do. Scorch, obviously not the right decision. Maybe unlock all speedways. I don't think I've seen a lot of that.
And that's the 11th goal for Blue. Cool little proxy from ZL.
ZL's going to be doing Turtle Soup 2. We know ZL did do the Alchemist, so even though ZL wasted time grabbing gems and was swept up by Wed, ZL will get this one at least.
Looks like Spudly's trying for return home portals. It's unfortunately a waste of time. ZL most likely will get the Alchemist and Turtle Soup 2, but meanwhile, neither of them are working on, or neither of them has a chance, I guess, at the other 2. So we're probably looking at a red victory here, with Silver probably getting his last, if not second to last
Yep.
return home portal.
And yeah, these next two challenges, Turtle Soup 2 is going to
Wed just
easily
got the
be
last speedway, so now it's a matter of who gets to return home portals faster, because we know that Turtle Soup 2 is ZL's for the taking.
Yep. And Silver's been at it for so long, I'd be shocked if not Zio,
unless
Silver
Spudlyman has been
doesn't take
getting them sneakily behind our back the whole time. There we have it, another 12-12 today.
12-12. Oh my gosh,
Coming
very
down
close.
to the last square on the board.
And
I'm
Wed
sure
is sitting.
Silver
Wed
feels
knows.
really good about his odds.
Yeah, and Wed is sitting. Wed knows that this is Silver's game plan, and Silver will probably take this one, unless, like you said, someone's been returning home from the blue team behind our backs. But not to be pessimistic, I haven't been seeing it. Both of them are still making a mad dash.
Mm-hmm.
Silver entering Hurricos. I
honestly feel like Silver has entered probably 12 return home portals by now, but
that's a big deal, yeah. I will have to admit that this should be one of the last ones. I'm inclined to believe that this is the last one, or the second to last one. No other options. Just because I've seen them exit so many times. Silver not going for the standard 14 talisman method, but going up, down, and through. That still counts. That still works.
And surely
this
that's
could
going to be the
easily be
last
it.
of them.
Yep. And that's it.
There
Silver
we
marks
go.
it off on the bingo, and it is done. 13-12.
That was quite
Red.
the race again. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
that was a good one.
great.
Did you watch my controller fuck up? I don't know if anybody...
What
What
happened?
section was it?
I was just right near at the start of Skilos. I was like jumping. I was doing a bunch of little jumps. I don't know why. Now
Oh,
we're
I
back
did
to
not
good.
see that.
Spyro wouldn't
How
stop
close
jumping.
was the end there?
not
Silver
very. I
has been
had
doing
4.
it for a while.
What was that?
I only
I
had 4.
Okay.
I had 2.
I had 0 and just was like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was... Oh!
Such a
That was
good
work.
race, though.
Was it?
I was
I'm
working
glad.
towards Turtle Soup 2 and Alchemist near the end. That was slow at the start.
Yeah, nobody was
that
getting anything.
board-
It was
that
like...
board took a while to get started. But as
Yeah,
I was
then
saying, like, this is the kind of board that once it gets heat up, like, things are going to get ticked off really quickly. And it also looked like both teams kind of had the mentality to just, like, well, it might have been just me being blind to the actual strategy, but it looked like you both had, you know, just accumulated half-completed goals, so you could, like, at any point just get one done when it starts heating up and just throw the other team up.
That's
Well, that's a
pretty much
double-edged sword as well, because
Yeah.
like you can have a bunch of half-prepared ones to like take them off real quick, but then if someone starts sniping them, or if a different route means that each player snipes a different one, then you're hurting.
Yeah, well, it was like, it actually worked out pretty well when I saw you get Seaweed skill point, and I was like, okay, he's going for turtle boxes, seahorses, and like the 14 power-ups and stuff, but I already had Fracture. So
Yeah, you got me good on the 14 power-ups. I was on my way to Fracture, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, I guess,
And, I lost a
Zephyr?
shitload of time for no reason. I thought that Sunny was a 14, so I did the Sunny power
yeah.
for nothing. And
a
then
lot of people think that. That's a common misconception.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, it's 11. I asked
Oh, is
CL
it?
after I did it.
Yeah,
he
it's
was
11.
like,
Fuck, I got 15 when I did turtle boxes, so, okay.
yeah, it's 11.
Alright, it looks like I'm wrong too.
I also
Yeah.
got 15 when I did turtle boxes before.
That was a great race,
and,
though.
8
just-
pink gems. I had 7 and was in the room with the Zephyr Strong chest when you...
I had
You
a
got it.
feeling that was gonna be close.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I was
yeah,
rocking
when you
6 for a really long time. And I had to enter Scorch to get some gems to buy Zephyr. Which
Yeah,
is
when
probably
you
what
sniped
did
me
you.
for the 14 power-ups, I had the one in Summer Forest and the 2 in Skelos. So I was like, okay,
Oh,
I'll get the
yeah.
3 in Autumn, and then I'm just gonna pay for Zephyr and do that.
Yep, that's we had the same gems because I had. Yeah.
Oh, did I beat you to 100% Summer Forest?
No, I didn't go for. I went to. I think my route was just I did the statues, and did the 2 orbs in Hurricane.
Right, you went for the proxy and got it like instantly.
Yeah.
the Colossus proxy. Usually, like you see Spyro struggle down there for a while. No, Spud just straight to the point. Dropped in, just gets ejected immediately.
We were talking about it. He had to show it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I didn't see it, so I appreciate the show off.
But no, it's interesting that you did that, because I also was going for Spirit Statues and Dinos, but after that I said, oh, but if I just do all of Idle, that's 2 goals, and then I have to in the forest.
No, I figured it was probably... Yeah, it was one or the other, and... Because, that was like, I saw that too, the all idle. And I was like, but I'd have to get gems for swim. And all the other Summer Forest stuff isn't particularly, like, gem loaded. So I was like, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that one to Silver.
Speaking of which...
Thanks for leaving it.
Speaking of which, Buy Climb and Head Bash mixed with 100% Winter Tundra sucks.
Right?
Yeah, we did make comments about the Buy Climb and Head Bash would probably just be such a pain in the ass. Like, just to grab all those gems.
By the
Our
way,
idea was to like leave it for us, or for me to do, because CL did theater. So it's like, I'll do it at the end. And then I was so gem starved this whole run. I was buying so much shit. Jesus.
My intent was to rush straight to the end. I didn't even do any partial goals on the way up. And had a nice fast gulp skip and a 5-cycle gulp. and first try out of bounds in Dragon Shores. So like all of that just went
really
very swell.
What was your first goal?
My first goal ended up being... I think it ended up being 100% Cloud Temples.
Yeah.
Because I was... I had to do some back and forths because I needed to get swim.
After 25 minutes, I should add.
Was that after 25 minutes?
Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
You revealed the card at 450 and you got the goal at 515.
Yeah, right, because I also did I was working on Indoor Lamps and Robot Scarecrows along with Combined Gems and Crystal and Robotica, and that got taken from me as I was going back towards Glimmer after I got Swift.
Yeah.
Oh, so
we saw you. The goal got ticked off right before you entered Glimmer. You saw it. Managed to like not waste time entering the level for no reason.
So you had completed Robotica and you were going to Glimmer?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did Crystal on the way to Gulp, and then I just did Robotica and got those 2. Well, I did Crystal and Glimmer on the way to Gulp.
Yeah, and he had also Endura Lamps already done at the start.
Yeah. That's what
I didn't feel like doing it to create extra buffer room, and then it turned out that you did even more extra shit.
Well, I figured I didn't know if I would beat you to it, so I figured if he goes for Robot Scarecrows, I'll at least get the gems.
Yeah, it's like you kind of have 2 goals, so if he grabs the quicker one, then you're like, okay, I'll do the slower one. But if he has...
I was pretty sure I get one of those 2.
Yeah.
Or 2 of them. Or I get 2 or 1 of them, basically.
I was also surprised there was a lot of things I was surprised to not be hindered on, and I guess that was because you did theater, ZL.
Yeah.
Our routes were so different. Like I went through my whole route and I was like, he's not taking any of these. Because like
it was weird.
I did the whole like shady into Zephyr thing, and like there's nothing there. Like nobody got any goals there for me.
Yeah, I wasn't getting stopped either until Seaweed Skill Point was the first one where I was like, oh, I was thinking about doing that, but it like informed me on what to like ignore. I was like, okay, I know what he's doing, and I'm halfway to a lot of those goals, so I'll skip one of them and beat him to the other
I'd like to draw attention to Wed saying to me, "You're doing seaweed?" Yes, I was like halfway done with it, and I guess I just hadn't communicated it, and he was a bit appalled by that.
Yeah, I was very surprised to hear that he was doing seaweed while not having fireball.
Yeah, at least I know where they are.
Well, you've got to get the... Yeah, you can do it. It's actually not that slow. If you get all of them, you can get it in like 2 touches of the power-up.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
It's just... And also paired with the 14s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's not too bad combined, then.
Yeah, that was my plan, was to do it. So when I saw him get the seaweed skill point, I was like, oh, okay, he's going for the 14s also. Because that's like... Dumb. Yeah. That's probably the talismans in Colossus Aquaria Breeze. So it's like, okay, I'll just go in and get the power-up and get the... Hopefully I can beat him to the talisman before he beats Crush and goes to Breeze.
Yeah. In hindsight, like, that would have been a really good goal to delay.
Yeah.
Because, like, who the fuck is gonna do...
That said,
who's gonna do that?
I was going to... Like, I was unlocking the Aquaria wall, I think, when you got that. So I was...
Oh, okay. It would have had to be, like, a really short delay.
Yeah, you probably had, like, 2 minutes. Because I would have had to get all the power up and then do it. But that was the next plan, so... You probably made the right choice, but at the same time, you did it taught me what to do. It was like, okay, I'm on to him.